Polish American Coalition for Democracy. It's really an honor. We are really honored for your presence here at the National Press Club, Washington, D.C. As you see, A Broken Dream, Rule of Law, Human Rights and Democracy. This book is a masterpiece on the current political context of Bangladesh. As you all know, the Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Surendra Kumar Sinha, is the author of this book. Not just the former Chief Justice of Bangladesh, his place will be in the history of Bangladesh, especially in judiciary. Without much further ado, I would like to introduce the Honorable Chair for this program. His Excellency Ambassador William B. Milan will chair this program today. Ambassador William B. Milan is the senior scholar at the Woodrow Wilson Center, and he's also one of the most authoritative experts on contemporary South Asian affairs. A couple of books, if I may mention, Bangladesh and Pakistan Flirting with Failure, Bangladesh and Burdens of History, so many things. And you always see he's quite frequent in Washington Post, in New York Times, Wall Street Journal, wherever you mention. Without much further ado, may I request the Honorable Chair of this program and Mr. Justice Surendra Kumar Sinha, the Honorable former Chief Justice of Bangladesh, to have their seats.
Mr. Justice, ahead of you.
Please, you have the chair.
I'm going to take this along.
We are pretty much thankful to our guests. Please have a round of applause for them. Of course, this marks a significant point of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, civil liberty, and freedom of association. I would just leave it to your imagination if this book launching would have been happening somewhere else, perhaps in any other country you may imagine. So, without much further ado, may I please request Honorable Ambassador to proceed the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And the program is really centered around Justice Sinha, not me, so I'm not going to say too much, just a few words. But I want to make one admonition, which I want people to pay attention to, particularly those in the media, and that is that this is a nonpartisan event. It is not to be represented as the product of any of the parties, any of the political parties or others involved. It is, I think, a group of people. I'm one of them. I know the organizer who seems to have disappeared is another, and many others who are really just concerned, concerned about the whole situation in Bangladesh, and the fact is, and I think the Justice will address this, I hope he does, I'm sure he's got it on his mind, the deterioration in the rule of law, of the way the politics are being conducted. And I think that although I won't tell you that everybody who shares this view has the same motto as me, but my motto is, I call it the Mercutio motto, which is that when he was dying in Romeo and Juliet, he said, "A plague on both your houses." And that is where many of us stand on the situation in Bangladesh. And I think I am quite sure that the Justice would agree with me and want it to be considered a non-partisan event. I don't believe he is a partisan. I believe he is a non-partisan member of the judiciary, which is exactly the way one should be, and that he is now telling us the things that happened to him after they made a decision in the Supreme Court that displeased the government. So, but I won't go much further except to say that the Justice, I have not yet read his book. I read the first few pages, Justice, and I was very, very interested to see the very, very difficult situation that you went through in 1971 during the war, when he was hiding in fields away from the Pakistanis. Pakistanis were searching for Hindus, and I think he was afraid, like a lot of others, that they would get him if he were out in plain sight. So he's hid in the fields during the day and then came home at night. Anyway, and he has a lot of other interesting stuff to say. I haven't got through the book, even close to through with it, but I think that looking through the table of contents, it looked like a book which covers a lot of territory, a lot of judicial things that he is concerned about, a lot of judicial reforms that he was the founder of, or the creator of, and in that will have a lot to say. This book will have a lot to say about that. But I think what we're here to talk about today, what we're here to hear him talk about today, is a very, very stark experience in the last couple of years as Chief Justice. So without further ado, and I know you're not here to listen to me, Chief Justice, will you come and talk to us?
Excellency, William G. Milan, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a pleasure on my part to be here, and it's a momentum there for me that ultimately, with a lot of hurdles, I have been able to publish a broken dream. Being Chief Justice of Bangladesh, what was my motto, what I wanted to do, but after occupying my chair, what practically I found, and these are the narrations I have stated in my book. At the outset, I request all of you that there are some mistakes, some errors. Even I could not complete the index also. I could not have none to support me, no finance, no helper, and because of the pressure of our government, somebody supported me that left, deserted me. I did not find any financer. I did not find any publisher. I did not find anybody else. I did not have any status in this country. I am a refugee now. Still now today, I am a refugee. Even then I was fighting and fighting and fighting. Ultimately, some friends indirectly helped me. And in my introduction, I did not mention their name because they requested me, don't disclose our names. Because if you disclose our names, then we are citizens of the United States, but our relatives are in Bangladesh. They have to face a lot of complications. At the outset, I would say, actually we achieved our independence in 1971 with lot of hopes and inspirations that there was disparity, there was no rule of law, there are no democracy, these and these and these. Then the leader who brought our independence, he formed the government, and within a very short time, within 1 year, we achieved we got our constitution in 1972. But in the constitution, initially it was there that the removal of the judges of the Supreme Court should be by the Parliament. Difficulty was that in 72 there was a provision, but there was no law. By law, it is said by law. No law was framed. So there was totally a vacuum. It continued. Then there is another provision about the lower judiciary. Lower judiciary should be independent and it should be under the Supreme Court of Bangladesh. Controlled, managed, everything. Now, in the constitution within a very short period of time, after expiry of 3 years, there was a drastic constitutional change, constitutional 4th amendment. It was done that the removal, control and discipline of the judges of the lower judiciary would be made by the president with the consultation of the Supreme Court. There was change. Now, since then, the judiciary lost control of the lower judiciary, Supreme Court lost control of the lower judiciary. Then he was brutally killed. Then there was a martial law. During the martial law regime, there was a provision by amending constitution that the removal of the judges should be held, conducted by Supreme Judicial Council, that is Chief Justice and 2 senior most judges. If the allegation is against the Chief Justice, it would be by the next senior judge will preside. Then the next senior judge will come, replace the seat. Now this continued. Under this provision, we have taken, as chairman of the Judicial Service Commission, I removed 2 judges. In my book I have mentioned. And 2 other judges, due to after receipt of the notice, they resigned. Though it was working, it was implementing. Now, there is another provision in our constitution, Article 109. There say the superintendent's control is with the High Court division of the judges of the lower judiciary. So there is direct conflict between 2 provisions in the constitution. One say this High Court, other say the executive. So there was tussle. In the midst of that tussle, there was a writ petition. It is commonly known as Masdar Hussain case. It was challenged that judiciary judges are not government servants. And it was heard by the Supreme Court and it was declared, shortly I am narrating, 12 guidelines here given. And most of all, that out of the 12 guidelines, 2 are very relevant, that yes, they are government servants, but not government servants at par. They are separate service and cater. And their removal, everything will be by the primacy lies with the Supreme Court. Primacy lies with the Supreme Court. Now, and directed the government to frame rules. Government did not frame any rule. Then I became the Chief Justice of Bangladesh. I found that I could not do anything. My judges found corruption, allegation, nepotism against some judges. They recommended for taking legal action. I wrote to the government, just legal proceedings should be taken against X, Y, Z. They kept silent. They did not give any reply. Then again, I sent a reminder. They said nothing. It was kept in the deep freeze. No reply. And one judicial officer in district court there was serious allegations against that officer in Dhaka district court. I wrote a letter to the district judge to hold an inquiry. Then district judge held the inquiry through subordinate officer. Then I said, no, you have to hold the inquiry. Then the officer wrote to the president a letter that Chief Justice is biased and he had violated the oath, he should be removed. A subordinate judicial officer wrote the president that Chief Justice should be removed. This is what is called Bangladesh. When I came to know, then and there I telephoned the law minister. What nonsense you are doing this? He was his protege. What happened? Well, this had happened. Then and there, he suspended him. Now, the day I was thrown out of the country, he has been reinstated. This is what Bangladesh judiciary is. Now, I attended 2 seminars in the biggest university, Dhaka University, in Senate building. Now, there, one professor of the university, all the professors are there, when we hear that the judges will deliver judgments, hear cases, without waiting the telephonic call from the executive. That was the direct allegation. And the Chittagong University, the chairman of the Human Rights Commission, Dr. Mizanur Rahman, he called them. Now the judges are waiting for a telephonic call from the ministry. I said, no, there was no telephonic call. Our judiciary is completely independent because this is the public perception. If people know that government is giving telephone calls for any order, public perception will not be here. So I opposed. Then I told the ministry, I told the Prime Minister, I told the President, these are happening. You please stop them. You please stop the rules being framed as per guidance by Masdar Hussain case. Ultimately, they framed the rules as the carbon copy of the government survey appeal rules. I threw the rules. Whatever, this is nothing. You have to frame the rules giving the Supreme Court primacy to take any decision, suspension, removal, everything. This was the crux of the dispute between the Prime Minister and me. See, we are not getting any budget, we cannot do anything. Then on one occasion, I found the Prime Minister. She came to inaugurate a building of our judiciary. I told the Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, you see, you are being misled by your partymen, by your ministers. So, would you kindly talk with me for 5 minutes? And we have to remove the differences between the executive and judiciary. This Prime Minister was so furious. She was not prepared to hear in a public meeting that the Chief Justice, she felt that and ultimately she agreed. Yeah, he is my servant. She was treating the Chief Justice as her servant. I appointed him. Why you speak that I am doing something on hearing somebody's advice? Then that was the first occasion she could not speak fluently. Then she broke the courtesy. Courtesy, without talking with me, without seeing me, she left the dais after speaking 1 or 2 words, even without taking tea in the incident. Then what happened? In 2014, there was no election at all. 153 parliament members were elected unopposed. Only they submitted nomination paper and they were elected. 153 or 54, something like that. And in respect of other seats, there was casting of about 2%, 3%, maximum 5% votes. Because the main opposition party did not participate in the election, because of the fact that there was pressure upon the government, the election was not fair. All the by-elections, all the local government elections were not free and fair. And after the independence, what we found, the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founder of our country, he, in the 4th Amendment, he abolished all the political parties. He declared that there should be one political party, and the government officials can also be part in his party. It is named Bakshal. And there should be only 4 newspapers. There should be any electronic media other than the government media. There is one party rule she introduced. In fact, in 2014 election, she was going to introduce exactly the carbon copy of the government that was run by her father, Bakshal, one party government. Then our unfortunate parties, India, a regional superpower, it backed that government. India said, yes, there was proper election. Then ultimately Russia supported, then some other countries also supported, then ultimately India secured the confidence of United States and some European countries. Now after consolidating power, Sheikh Hasina started arresting people with the help of the mighty intelligence, DGFI, Director General of Forces Intelligence, Army Intelligence. And there is no check and balance around them. They mingle in politics, in business, everywhere. And they will pick up any person from the house, from the street, anywhere in civil dress. And after a few days, 1 month, 2 months, his dead body was found floating in a river or beside the road. These are regular features. These are happening. Then one case came to me. It was about the police arrest, torture, and killing. This case, I heard the matter as a Chief Justice. I formulated some guidelines. What happened in our country? Police take a person on police remand. Then they hatch up a story that they went with the arrestee in an area where he agreed that he concealed some arms. Then his supporters came, there was crossfiring. In the midst of the crossfiring, he died. Then I said that no, you cannot do this. If the police officer takes any person on remand, this police officer say give the undertaking that he must produce the person in court. And if he could not produce him, then the magistrate shall take cognizance of the offence for murder, or if he found some marks of violence, for criminal offence. Then also, that was also enraged the executive. These are the problems. In the midst of that, Sheikh Hasina abruptly amended the constitution and brought the higher judiciary under the superintendent's control and removal by the constitutional 16th Amendment. there was lot of outcry against that by the lawyers because there was no rule of law at all. Then in the High Court division, the judges were, I constituted a special bench, they heard the matter. They were unanimous to deliver the judgment in open court that dismissing the, nullifying the constitutional amendments. Then what happened? They noted down a short order that the constitutional amendment was set aside and judgment shall follow. Now, on the following day, when the judges who were about to take their seat, one judge said, "Sir, I will not be able to endorse your view. I will dissent, and please you delete the word any unanimous." Then we came to know that this judge was influenced by the DGFI and he changed his mind. And they approached another judge. The another judge, he came with the visiting card and supplied me these are the officer colonel so he tried to influence me. Then I took the copy. I telephoned the Prime Minister that your officer so and so, he went to my court and influenced the judge. I called the Law Minister and Attorney General and hand over the Prime Minister and directed that no intelligence military officer should come inside my court building. Then it was not unanimous, but by majority judgment was rule was made absolute. Then on one occasion, because when it was heard, India's Prime Minister came. There was a dinner arranged by our Prime Minister in a hotel. The Prime Minister was requesting me, would you kindly tell the judges to have the judgment in our favor? I told Prime Minister, you see, normally I am the last person. I did not and I would not interfere in the administration of justice. I will look after the matter when the matter will come. We will see that. Then the government was pressurizing me. I told the Law Minister that you see, your government is very, very eager to take the control of the higher judiciary. Lower judiciary is under their control. You give full control of the lower judiciary because 80% of the people go to the lower judiciary. And there is abuse of power. Actually, innocent persons are arrested by the police. They are taken on police remand. They are tortured. Lot of ordeals are being done. So, you amend the constitution, that provision, about our superior judiciary. We would discuss later. Then there was no reply. I waited 6 months. They are killing time. Then we heard the 16th Amendment judgment. We are in course of, from the body language we know, I was the presiding judge, we know that the sentiment of the judges from the queries. Then just one day before the delivery of the judgment, I got a telephonic call. The direct telephonic call from the military secretary of the president. I was astounded, I was surprised. It was not at all a convention. It was any officer could not speak over phone to me. It was from my secretaries, my registrar, these are the persons. Indirectly, sir, would you kindly mind to take a cup of tea with the Honorable President? I took the matter so lightly. Now in the afternoon, I got a text message. That I have quoted the text message telephone number also in my book. Sir, I intimated you about the meeting. I hope that you will be coming. Then I called my registrar, my private secretary, all that. Did you find any invitation or anything from the President House? Well, so we did not receive anything. Then I discussed with my private secretary. What happened? Well, sir, it might be sure that it was so secret that they did not disclose it. Then I went. This time I found that I was taken to the room of the President, military secretary. I was surprised. For Chief Justice, there is a special room. He is the third, according to our constitution, very powerful man. I was taken to the military secretary's room. Whether I would sit there, I will go up, I was thinking, and the military secretary was moving, sir, please sit down, please have a cup of coffee, and these are. Just in front of that is the room of the president. And he was moving out and out. This way, he wasted about 45 minutes. Then gentleman came and said, sir, the honorable president is waiting. I went to the president room. I was thundered. I was astonished seeing that the president, the prime minister, the law minister, the attorney general, they are sitting there. Then I got the message for what purpose I was invited. Then the prime minister raised the issue that you have to deliver judgment in my favor, in our government's favor. I laughed. How it could be? I don't know what would be the judgment, because we did not decide anything, because we know our decisions are leaked from among the judges. So I maintained Billy's secrecy. So I did not know what judgment would be. Now we want your opinion only. What is it? I can't say right now. And even if you take my opinion, my other 6 judges, they have not expressed their opinion. We don't know their opinion. I can't say. Then also, if I go in your favor, 6 judges will go against you. Then what would be the result? I said, only we want you. We don't any other judge's opinion. I said, I can't say. Then I told that I have intimated you, your law minister and attorney general, that you amend the Article 116 regarding the lower judiciary. I cannot work at all in about the disciplinary, in the absence of disciplinary rules. It cannot be done. It cannot be done because my father amended the matter. I cannot change it. Then I got the result. Then I asked the Prime Minister, say Prime Minister, just this way. You went to your office or you returned to your official residence. You found that one of your 4th class employees sitting, keeping his leg in the air. He is not giving salute, he is not standing. What would be your repercussion in that incident? She was looking. Then you said, shut up, go. Well, you said, no, I will not go. Who are you? You can't do anything to me because President is my appointee authority. You can't do anything because I will not listen to your words. Would you be able to run your government? I asked the Prime Minister. This is what happening in our judiciary. Being the Chief Justice, I can't do anything even if I find any corruption, any illegality. I can't take any action against any officer. And all the time, whenever there is terrorism case, there is some cases if some money is given on telephonic call, they are releasing the accused persons. This judiciary cannot run in this way. Then say, yes, I know about you, I see. This way we wasted about the earlier discussions about 4.5 hours. From 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. We are given only 1 cup of coffee and we are. They are pressurizing me. I said, no, that cannot be. I am the last person I will give verdict in your favor. That how I returned to my home, I could not believe. I am sitting on the roof, top of my vehicle and driver is pulling. I can't remember anything. One time my driver said, sir, you have come, just calm down. Then I slept for the night. I got up, I could not sleep, I got up 4 a.m. I worked for 1 hour. I was thinking what I would do. Then decided, let me go, let me talk with the judges. I will not disclose anything, let me listen them. But being the Chief Justice, I should not show anything that I was puzzled, I was so pressurized or nothing of the sort. Then our court sits at 9 a.m. It is my routine work. If you take in information you have, exactly at 8 a.m. I go to court, 1 hour before. And on 1 hour before I go, and then I take a cup of coffee, black coffee. Then I think over the matter about the judiciary, many things. Then the judges will come at 8:30, half an hour time. I decided that I will not express anything about the incident. And I also understood that I was kept in the President's Secretary room because of the fact that the Prime Minister also invited some other judges and influenced them. That much I was convinced. And at least 2 judges I understood who are the 2 judges. Then I decided, because the government was very serious, unless the judgment was unanimous, I would postpone the delivery of the judgment. But I will not disclose them to them. Then when the judges will come, formally I expressed to them that nothing had happened to me. I invited them in my conference room, I discussed with them. Our tradition is that when we take opinion, always we take the opinion of the lowest judge of the bench. Then the senior one. The Chief Justice was the last person. This time, I realized that 2 lower judges were, 2 judges in the lower rank, junior judges, were influenced. I said, yes, this time I would take opinion. This is the Chief Justice has lot of discussions from the senior most judge, and that is my next senior judge. Yes, Mr. Wahab, you express your opinion. Yes, sir. These are here, only 5 minutes. He explained that I would dismiss the appeal. The High Court judgment, I will maintain the High Court's judgment. The next senior judge, she also said, sir, I agree with my brother judge. Then the third one, the present Chief Justice, he could not open his face. He was just keeping his head down. I would allow the appeal. I got the message. The next one, he said that I would neither allow nor dismiss. I will dispose of the appeal with some observations. I noted down. The third one, next one, was I would allow the appeal. So 2 judges in favor of government, one was in the middle, and the next one, he said that I would dismiss the appeal. I did not express my opinion. So I got 3 persons, 3 judges in my favor. One of them, 2 against, one was in the middle side. Then I did not at all express. Because I fixed my mind, unless the opinions are unanimous, it would be difficult to run the judiciary, higher judiciary. And if higher judiciary goes, then country will be, there will not be any civilized country. There cannot be. Bangladesh cannot be treated as a. Then I know of the 2 judges, one was very strong man. Very a bit, he has some courtesy, he has some courage and everything. I thought that I should hit him first. My 2 judges, they started speaking. I said, stop, don't talk anything. It is the Chief Justice who will speak. I will not allow anybody else. Then I started talking him. You see, this is September, October, November, December. January, I am leaving January. What for? You are the judges. You will run the judiciary. You know what is happening in the lower judiciary. How you will run the judiciary? You will stay about 5, 6, 7 years. This way, I talked with him and talked with him, and then they said, sir, I would agree with you, provided if we formulate code of conduct of the judges of the higher judiciary. I said, that is exactly you said. I also decided this. Yes. I also kept in mind that I would formulate the code of conduct of the judges of the higher judiciary. After taking power, they should not abuse their power. I would do. Okay, thank you. Then the soft target, the present Chief Justice. You see, you are alone. What you will do? You know what your position and what you are going to be. I told to him that he will be making the Chief Justice, I know. Would you be able to administer justice? These are, only it takes me 5 minutes. Then he said, yes sir, yes sir. He agreed. Then I heard him. Then in the middle portion, the judge, that I talked to him, you see, don't go. Don't do hanky-panky. Straight away, yes or no? Yes sir, sir. This was, then all the judges unanimously endorsed their opinion that our Chief Justice Sir would express the opinion of the court. Only one judgment will go. Then I said that only 3 days more I am leaving to International Court of Justice, only 3 days. That I am not sitting in court in 3 days. I dictated the judgment and I left Bangladesh for Belgium. On the following day, I delivered my expression, opinion. Now what happened? These judges delivered the copy of my draft copy of the judgment to the government. And there we are whispering among the governments, among these are. Then the 2 judges who were against me, then I compelled them to come in my favor. They said, sir, I wanted to express my opinion, add some opinions. I got the message, government compelled them. The other judges, then all the judges are ready, sir, we want to add something. Then if you add, then the one judge would retire on the 7th. Nazmuna Sultan, only lady judge. She could not sign the judgment. Oh, sir. She said, sir, I did not give my signature in the judgment, you deliver the judgment. Now government started. First of all, the chairman of the Law Commission, former Chief Justice Khairul Haq, he started a press conference. I, as a teacher, whatever I said, all the judges agreed. It was not their opinion. It was not their. I traveled beyond the limits, beyond the issues, and these are their naked language, he expressed. Then the law minister, then the prime minister, then the ministers. In a public meeting, they started criticizing me. Somebody says that Pakistani ISI, intelligence, they wrote the judgment and delivered to me. Some of them say that Dr. Kamal Hussain, one of the jurists, he wrote the verdict and delivered me. And there was a discussion in the parliament, and they expressed slang, keeping nothing of the sitting Chief Justice. And the way I could not even breathe from the air. The environment was so polluted. This way, about the court will be opened within maybe 4 or 5 days. And then before that, there was a puja vacation. I went to the president's house to meet the president on the eve of puja. We greeted. We said, you will take sweetmeats and other things. Don't meet, there are a lot of people. I am coming, you wait for me. President was telling. On that day, it is possibly 30th September. 30th September. That day I met the president at noon. 30th September, president invited 5 judges, excluding me, in a dinner. Their law minister, attorney general, possibly some other government officials were also invited. They did not express to me. Invited to me. Then president told the judges, it is the version of the judges, that there are serious allegations against me. Corruption allegations. So on the reopening day, you the judges would not sit with the Chief Justice. The only following morning, I got a telephonic call from the Registrar General. What happened? All the judges wanted to meet me. I had to give time. I said, yes, let them come at 5 p.m. I'm doing some works. Then at 5 p.m., then I realized there's something wrong in it. Why all the judges would come to meet me? Then Junior Most Judge, I rang him. He said that, sir, I am now in the house of Justice Abdul Wahab. We are discussing in a meeting. Then I got the message. Then why not you tell the Justice Wahab right now? You come, discuss. Now we are coming after half an hour. They came. They could not raise their head. They said, yesterday president invited us and they told that there are serious allegations against you, so we are not going to sit with you in court. And all the judges also will not cooperate with you. That is, behind my back, they conspired. They utilized the Allied Intelligence Department to prepare a file and influence them. The other day, about 3-4 days, we delivered the judgment. There he said, no action detriment to the interest of the judge should be taken without affording him a hearing. I don't know what are the allegations against me. I don't know the judges who signed the judgment. They forgot. Then there is the reason, if you have come deciding something, final decision, you judged my fate. So I did not discuss with you. On the following day, I went to court in the morning. Then after some time, the DJFI chief came to meet me. He came and he said, sir, you see, the audacity of a military man. Sir, there are serious allegations against you. You have to take long leave for 3 months and leave the country. I was stunned on seeing the officer. Directly, he is charging. The Prime Minister sent a military official to my official office, Supreme Court, said that. My secretary then said, I would think about the matter, I will not do anything. Then, what happened? After leaving, my secretary came and said, Sir, I don't know what decision you would take, but not, you take some leave. We are totally, we cannot do any work because entire court is occupied by the military men in civil dress. We are threatened. All the files here seized, everything we are seized. We can't do anything. Then I told him the atmosphere because my strength is with my brother judges. My judges we are purchased. Now my officers they can't work. What can I do? 2 days thereafter the Russian president, the Russian chief justice will come on my invitation. We met in Japan 3 days ago. We had discussions about what are the, we had entered into a MOU also. Everything was finalized, then said that I will not sit in court, I should not come to court. Then I told my secretary, you bring an application for only 1 month leave. I will be leaving. Then I signed for 1 month leave. Now on reaching my home, I found that my house was entirely surrounded by military people, security people. Nobody is allowed to enter, nobody is allowed to go out, and I was totally confined in my captain's house arrest. Then on the following day, this DJFI ship came. That's all. We told that you are sick, you would be admitted in the hospital. Why not? He was charging me. Why not you are admitting to the hospital? He said, officer, don't do mockery with the Chief Justice. I'm not a sick man. And I will not follow your dictation. Yes, you come down. Come. Then he uttered, you said you did not obey. In Singapore also, when we are coming from Japan, in the Singapore airport, you did not cooperate with there are a lot of incidents with my officials. You will face consequence. On open face, he threatened me. I think then from the following day, I found that he started sending one after another at my residence. Why you have come? Well, sir, we are helpless. We are compelled to come. Where are instruments to examine my body and sir, you know and we know. You are not a sick man. But we are told we come, yes, take 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. After gossiping 1.5 hours, 2 hours, then left. This way, it was an obnoxious situation. They started assaulting my employees, my relatives, physical assault. The law minister came, what nuisance you are doing this? The Prime Minister advisor came, I told him, what you are doing, sir, please wait for some time. Let the Prime Minister come, we will resolve the matter. The LGRD minister came, what you are doing? Well, sir, we are resolving, we don't know. You know, our intelligence people are so powerful. Sir, we don't have any control over them. Then, sorry, time is passing away. Sir, I am closing.
Yeah.
Then, this way, I thought that I could not do anything. I could not actually, I have lost my sense to think any matter. Then I was compelled to, I thought that I should take open leave outside the country. Then I left the country. Then I went to Australia, then Canada. I found no environment at all. Actually, then I thought that America, your United Great America, here is a place where free expression, there was free human rights is very protected, and these are the person. And I thought that, and in my introduction, in the last chapter, I have narrated those incidents. These are the circumstances which compelled me. I vividly narrated. It is not the entire version of the what happening. There were other pages. It would be voluminous. The other volume should be second volume. And I hope the revised edition would be published very soon. Their entire episode, everything will be focused. I hope the honorable the gathering, this you would read this book and express your opinion, what is happening, whether in a country, only shortly I narrated, in a country, if there is no rule of law, if the judiciary is not independent, then we will move to the medieval period. Then there was no, actually, there cannot be any civilization. Only I am fighting for rule of law, for democracy and human rights, free expression of mind. We cannot express anything in our country. You will find in United States even 200 to 300 journalists have taken shelter, political asylum, only because they wrote something independent. Whether in 21st century, as a civilized country, could we live in this country? I hope that this great nation, this country, because it has all influence over all the countries, it will do something for the cause of humanity, free expression, democracy and rule of law. Thank you all for the patience here.
Thank you, Honorable
I'm
Chief
sorry
Justice.
that my phone's gone.
May I help with that? Perhaps I'm technical idiot, but perhaps I can try with that.
I need a phone technician is what I need. Yes.
Oh yes.
Well, it doesn't shut down though. Anyway.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Chief Justice, for your moving and compelling account that kept us spellbound for an hour, I believe.
Well, it's done, it's fine. If you want me to keep chairing, I will, but because I think my phone has probably gone crazy. I don't know what to do about it.
Okay, I think I can help with that a little bit.
Turn it off.
Thank you so much.
Better it up, please.
I'm sorry
That's
about that, because it was a compelling and a very interesting talk, and you did pretty well stick to the schedule, so good for you. I think the usual practice in book launches is for there to be some questions and some answers. But it's the audience who has to have the questions, and it's the Chief Justice who will have the answers. Is there anybody who would like to ask a question? You. Okay. That's not a question.
No, that's not a question. I just put my recorder over there. Sir, just at the beginning, you said that you didn't disclose the name of your friends who indirectly helped you. So that is one part of my question is related to that. I'm just definitely, the chair said that it's a non-partisan thing. You are also non-partisan man. But how about your friends? Are they partisan? Are they belong to any particular political group? That is one part. And there are another thing that you said that you are a refugee. I'm really surprised to hear that word. And also at the later part you talk about some journalists are taking asylum in this country. So what's your plan? I mean, this refugee thing and this asylum thing. Do you have any plan for that?
Can I ask you a question? For my purposes, I think, as well as some of the other members of the audience, would you give us your name and
Oh,
identify
sure.
yourself? And
My
for
name
all
is-
the other questioners, please do introduce yourself
I mean, there is no
and
rule.
give your
There is no
association.
ground rule for this Q&A thing, so that's why I thought. I'm Shahriar Zaman, I'm from Bangla Tribune. It's a online newspaper in Bangladesh.
The Bangla Tribune?
Yes.
Yes, I'm aware of it. No, that's probably not the right microphone.
Thank you.
এটা টিভির মাইক মাইকটা হইছে দিচ্ছি সে দিচ্ছে বস
Oh, it's kind of kept here.
It is fixed.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to just stand up there, Mr. Justice.
Sorry, there's no problem.
ওইটা হাজির
I didn't do my introduction.
ওটা লাগবে পিছনে
Actually,
I think I've lost control of the meeting.
I am not involved in politics. I hate politics because of the political atmosphere I have been looking right from 1974. I have distrusted regarding politics. Now, I did not allow till now any politician to come in contact with me. Though our government is making a lot of allegations that some political parties are helping, and even said one gentleman from London, from Jamaat-e Islam, Dr. Barrister Rajab, find anything from London? There was no political element who helped me, only some very senior citizens who are doctors, who are professors, who are journalists. Nothing more. As regards my status, actually, still now, I don't have any status. I would request the authorities here to help me to stay for time. My visa is expiring, and I wanted to seek. I sought political asylum, but it was no decision was given. And as a result, I can move the country. I have an invitation from London House of Commons to speak with them, deliver a speech, but I can't travel. I have an invitation from Geneva and the European Union also, but I could not travel right now. Thank you.
May I say something?
Yes.
Justice, because that's very important, and it adds a lot to what I said at the beginning, that this is a nonpartisan meeting, and it's a nonpartisan group as far as I'm concerned, because I'm very nonpartisan, and I knew the judge was too. So it's important to know, and that was a good question. Where's the questioner? There he is. That was a good question because it brought out his side from him. The fact that what we don't need, and this goes for this country too, where we've just seen a whole scramble in terms of an appointee to our own Supreme Court, and one that's quite embarrassing, actually, I think. That when partisanship starts to creep into particularly the judiciary and judicial matters, it's a killer. It's killer. And so we are trying, those of us who are here and are helping the judge, trying to make sure that it remains a movement that is focused on the things that are really wrong in Bangladesh, which is the whole deterioration of the rule of law, the political culture, and I could add many more, but I won't take the judge's time.
Yes. Any question?
My name is Moinuddin Nasser. I write for the Holiday and also I write for the Tika in New Year. And I want to know actually, it is regarding political person, but the question is not political. I want to know, as a judge, you are a learned judge and the honorable judge, and I am sorry that you have to leave the country under duress. This is my personal are you concerned about whether the case against leader of the opposition, Begum Khaleda Zia, that now for which he is now being arrested and suffering?
Thank you, Mr. Moinuddin. There is a pending matter. Because pending matter we can't give any opinion. Only I can tell you, in a country where Chief Justice did not get justice, that what would be the position of other persons, other political elements? It is, God knows. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, my name is Tawfiqul Islam. I don't have any affiliation with any news media. Yesterday's press conference, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she said someone is financing you to write this book for her political gain and smear her government. Would you have any comment on that, please?
Thank you. Good. Yeah. If somebody has financed me, there should be index. There should be editing, proper editing. I have admitted that I expressed my sorrow that I could not do proper editing through a proper professional editor, and there was no index. Whether I will pose a question to you, whether the Amazon will take money from me for publication of a book. It is Amazon published the book. You got my reply?
Yes.
Got it? Thank you.
Other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed, do you have any plan to go back in Bangladesh?
Thank you. When I was confined, you will find in the video footage. When I was leaving the country, there were about 1,000 media people, electronic and print media. And the vehicle's flag stand was broken. In my book I have stated. You check the footage. There I said one thing. I was not sick. I am compelled to leave the country. I am coming back. Now, previously, because of time constraint, my life was in stake because of the terrorist group. I closed that chapter. I did not speak. Now, government is other factor. You know, every day Bangladesh, you see, only way when I was taken by the security people there, if they can kill me, because there is no rule of law. So, who will give the guarantee of my life? This is what my family is not allowing me. You understand? Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Mr. Chief Justice, thank you very much for this wonderful event. And obviously it's your book and it's autobiography is written by you. But yesterday, Prime Minister of Bangladesh in a press conference, she said, she asked to her party workers and the reporters to find out who is behind that books and who is written, who is financing, and everybody will be, they will take care of them as her. Obviously, she always threatened like this. So are you feeling, of course there is maybe I can disagree with many of the chapters.
Thank you. I got your report.
So do you feeling any insecure?
You see, thank you. The Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's media, they have already entangled a lot of people. They know they have disclosed their name. Now it is for them to disclose why they helped me. Now, even if it is assumed that, yes, they helped me. Suppose, is it an offense? I am writing a book, somebody supported me. Why Prime Minister is so scared? In publishing a book, they're scared about, they wanted to close my mouth. They did not want to speak, write something, they expose something, disclose something. About me, about my security, I am scared of my life. Even you have seen in the media, our Prime Minister, in my book also I have written, This time Prime Minister came with a huge number of people, 311 people. I don't know, India, the last year India came only 20 people. Bangladesh came with 200, I disclosed in my book. So these people, and they generated lot of, they gathered lot of people, there were, the procession against me in Queens. You would be surprised to know that Prime Minister deputed 2 DGFI person in a house just contiguous to my house in Jasper Street. And all the time they open the window and keep a camera open and take photograph, the persons are coming and out. And I am so scared that I don't go out of my house. 24 hours I remain in my house. Yes, next.
Okay. This is Nazmul Hasan. I publish a newspaper in New York. The senior minister of the present government and the general secretary of the party, ruling party, said the book, he doesn't have any comment about the book, but he said the book is too early. He could have waited until after the election. And do you think this book has something to do with the upcoming election or the political process that we could be going through in few weeks? So do you think or do you believe that this book has an implication? And one more thing, it was my belief that justice should not be emotional. Your book has so many parts that has some kind of emotional outburst, and you have tolerated these things for maybe 6 months or 8 months, whatever the time frame, I don't know exactly. But why so long? Why did not you try to have some kind of arrangements with the government to have the judiciary gain more power, or you wanted to see through it, how far this government could go with the judiciary? What was your plan?
Thank you. Your question has so many parts. One by one I am explaining. Now, you know, I came with a suitcase. I was thrown out of the country. It is also known to all that I went to my Australia, stayed 1 month, then Canada 2 months, then I came here. Now it is not about even 1 year. I came out and it is almost about nearing 1 year, but not 1 year. I did not find any house. I stayed in a basement for 2 months. I could not procure a computer. I have collected a desktop. Then I started writing. This is a book. You see about I wrote the book about 800 plus pages. Now, and even I could not prepare the index. These are it's about 6-7 months. I planned to publish it in July, but I failed to find out that is what publisher. This was delayed. Then ultimately I came into contact with Amazon. Then I published it. Now about the LGRB ministers. Why they are apprehending? If they have people support, the election, what no, is America. Can you suppress anything? The people will know. There is an electronic and print media. Why you are fearing my book or other book? Why? What for? If you do something for the cause of the people, do good for the cause of the people, then why you fear? What damage will cause to the government? I have prepared it, I have published it. It takes some time. But even then, I could not prepare it properly. And I will, by December, I will publish it, the revised edition.
Are you having your Bangla edition?
Bangla edition, some people contacted me, but I have to find out proper publisher. Then I will decide. But the pirated Bangla version has already been published, but it's not the true copy. To reflection of it. Yes, next.
Can I ask 2 more questions?
Yes, one question.
What? You told that there is no code of conduct for the judge.
Yes, I have published in the judge, 16 Amendment judgment, there is a code of conduct. I have prepared.
You
yes.
prepared.
Yes, already
during your
prepared,
time
signed.
was-
What the judge signed?
Okay. Another thing is that you told that India backed the government. What does it mean actually? How India backed the government?
It is, you see, India is so with the permission of the CR, it will take me 5-10 minutes. Would you permit me?
Sure, of course.
Oh, yes. India,
He's running the meeting, not.
oh, I see. But after all, you are the chair. Now, India has 7 sisters into the eastern regions. They don't have any, they have a connectivity, but there is no proper connectivity. It takes 48 hours through Assam to other states. Now, they wanted a corridor through Bangladesh. Now, and there are insurgents in some eastern Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur. Now, India was apprehending that Bangladesh is harboring terrorist group, train them, give them arms, supply them for terrorist activities. Now, the Awami League government committed to Indian government that they would stop any terrorism. They would train. They actually, in fact, they dismantled all the camps. This is one reason India gave some facilities to the 7 eastern countries for the shipment of the goods through Agartala, and this helped the India government. This is one of the reasons India is helping this Awami League government, and therefore that they realized that Awami League, if Awami League remains in power, then it will be beneficial for the India, for their internal security, for their business purposes, economic purposes, everything India is benefited. That is why India. I wrote about India. I said that India, it is the opinion of the most people that if there is a free and fair, Awami League said that there was no free and fair election. They spoke about elections should be held under caretaker, neutral caretaker government. Now the Awami League now is opposing that caretaker government. Now Awami League is also admitting that there is no free and fair election. Why? After coming to power, why they have forgotten the past experience? Why they are shy to give the free and fair election? If the people, if they believe in democracy, people will decide who will run the country. India choosing a political party who is working against the will of the people. Then I spoke in the book, I have written in the book, that India lose Sri Lanka, India lose Nepal, India will lose Bangladesh as well. Pakistan is the enemy. Then in near future, India will face 2 Pakistans.
So now India is not backing the.
Yes, still no backing. Still no backing. Yes, any question?
One more.
Yes.
Mr. Sinha, I have a question just. You were a Chief Justice and you already speak and you already wrote your book that the present government pressurize you to resign and throw you out from the country and you feel insecure. You are a Chief Justice. What do you think that present government, under the present government, if you are not secure as a Chief Justice, and what do you think that under the present government, the general public, as well opposition, are secure under this government, present government or no?
I have already replied. I have already replied this question. Now one thing, you see, you have opined that it's an emotional book. Actually, you read the book. Have you read the book?
Part of it.
Or without reading the book, how you say it is emotional one?
No, I'm
I
saying.
have narrated exactly what happened.
No.
People wanted to know what happened with me as sitting Chief Justice. Only I have narrated, not totally emotional. Yes, any question? Yes.
I don't have any question. My name is Zahid Khan, and I don't have any question. I wanted to say thank you because you could have a better life in Bangladesh, luxurious life. But everybody knows there is rule and regulation. and you didn't compromise with your dignity and principle.
That's all. That's why you did not praise me. Did I, yes, any question?
Do you support caretaker government?
Yes. Yes. You asked one question. Yes.
Just the one.
Yeah.
And you were appointed by running government. So my country, Bangladesh, your country too, we are general people perception. You did lot of judgment for the government, the running government, and your lot of judgment is against BNP and Jamaat, whatever the big parties, and your judgment, and because of you are the Chief Justice, and now all liabilities for you, and it's a lot of people killed and a lot of people hanged in my country, and I don't know what you say.
Yes. I got it. You see, I did not conceal any fact. I have disclosed ins and out about the constitution of the International Crimes Tribunal. Everything I wrote, I have disclosed. If I had concealed something, then you could have spoke on this ground. I disclosed everything, and you see, I am the only Chief Justice, sitting Chief Justice, 2 ministers in the open court, I convicted them. 4 or 5 ministers, they are the High Court division, quashed the proceeding, I set aside the order, sent for trial. Not only opposition, but the sitting cabinet ministers, I have taken legal action. I did not compromise with my conscience. Yes. You will find in the book. Yes.
So I have a
Yeah,
follow-up.
no, the gentleman.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah, the gentleman. You
can ask the follow-up.
Yes.
In your opinion, the International War Crime Court has any legitimacy?
Oh yes, yes.
And was it fair?
Oh yes. At least the High Court judgment only on Saidi. They delivered capital punishment. My judgment, I said no, just don't be. And I acquitted him all the charges, only one judgment. Only one charge I found him guilty and life and imprisonment. Yes.
Hi, I'm Lalit Jha from PTI, Press Trust of India, India's Wires.
Oh, yes.
I want to ask you, India being a democratic country and so near to you, did you try to reach out to the India or any politicians in India, and why did you stay in India?
Oh, sorry.
Coming so far.
Sorry. As regards India, possibly it will take time. I would invite you for a cup of coffee with me and talk with me. Only I am telling you because I am not politically motivated. I am not involved in politics. I do not want to speak anything about politics. Only I am speaking if there is no democracy in a country, if there is no rule of law, then the ultimate gainer is the terrorist group. They will find ground. And the terrorists, because in the absence of the rule of law, the corrupt people will give money, throw money, they will go out there, activate for terrorism, it will spread in India also. India should think about the matter. I will talk to you later on. I will allow you 10 minutes time. Okay? Thank you. Yes.
One more.
Yes.
Mr. Justice,
Yes.
you've gone over 2 hours now.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not setting a time limit, but I think...
Thank you.
I think, I'm not setting a time limit necessarily, but I
But-
was going to say that you may be getting real tired, and the questions are getting a little repetitious. So,
No, final-
if you want to end
after
it,
you resign, now the government part,
He did not resign.
the government part is saying that you are corrupted.
Oh yes, these are the propaganda. Because of the autocratic government always speak. There is no nexus between corruption and my removal. Even if I am corrupt, I should be put on trial, there should be an inquiry, then it should be. If they give the verdict before making any inquiry, then what would be the result? Thank you.
Do you support caretaker government?
Now may we please request our Honorable Chair to have his words and followed by the unwrapping of the book. Thank you.
I don't have any more words actually, except again to say I'm sorry that my phone went crazy. Except to say that I thought I was very impressed by the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, I guess is accurate. I thought the Q&A was particularly fascinating because I thought the questions were kind of tough and he really batted them back at you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you go away, those of you who are in the media and are going to report on it, with the understanding that this is the Chief Justice talked from a very nonpartisan point of view. He's trying to convince everybody with his book that things in the judicial area, but in other areas too, have gone really sour in Bangladesh. And he's hoping that his book will provide a lesson for the leaders of Bangladesh. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I think it's been a great meeting, and we're adjourned. That isn't the book, is it? Ah.
Oh yes, you have to.
Oh well.
Right, we welcome all you all to stand up for the distinguished guest and to unwrap this book. This is the unwrapping of the broken dream, rule of law, human rights and democracy.
I want to
by
say
Honorable former Chief Justice Mr. Surendra Kumar Sinha.
thank you very much, Mr. Chief Justice. It's a great book. I didn't know it was in print yet. I didn't understand that until I got here today.
You have a copy or you take it?
I had somebody sent me a PDF copy.
No, you take it. You take it.
I get this?
Oh yes.
For me?
Yes.
Oh, how about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Why not a sign up, autograph?
I'd love that.
Any copy for audience? Signed copy?
Sorry, I have the William. Please, do you?
Just say Bill Milan, M-I-L-A-M. Bill, B-I-L-L.
B-I-L.
Yeah.
I-N.
I-L-L. Yeah, 2 L's. Yeah.
M-I-L.
A-M.
Me?
September. Is it?
Today is 29th, yeah, 18th. Terrific. Thank you, sir.
Can you have some photo session?
Sorry?
Photo session with the justice?
Why not?
Please.
You want him alone, don't you? Oh.
So come
You come.
We need to, sir. You want the three of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
You come.
Yeah.
I want